Mr. Roboto. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Mata ogimade. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Itsu o shiritai.
You're wondering who I am.
Secret, secret, I got a secret.
Machine or mannequin.
Secret, secret, I got a secret.
With parts made in Japan.
Secret, secret, I got a secret.
I am the modern man. I've got a secret I've been hiding under my skin. My heart is human, my blood is boiling, my brain IBM. So if you see me acting strangely, don't be surprised. I'm just a man who needed someone and someone to hide to keep me alive. Just keep me alive. Somewhere to hide to keep me alive. I'm not a robot without emotions. I'm not what you see. I've come to help you with your problems so we can be free. I'm not a hero, I'm not a savior. Forget what you know. I'm just a man whose circumstances went beyond his control, beyond my control. We all need control. I need control. We all need control. I am the modern man
Secret, secret, I've got a secret.
who hides behind a mask
Secret, secret, I've got a secret.
so no one else can see
Secret, secret, I've got a secret.
my true identity.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo, domo, domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo, domo, domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Thank you very much, oh Mr. Roboto, for doing my job. Nobody wants to, and thank you very much, Mr. Roboto, for helping me escape to where I needed to. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wanna thank you. Please, thank you. The problem's plain to see. Too much technology. Machines to save our lives. Machines dehumanize. The time has come at last.
Secret, secret, I've got a secret.
To throw away this mask.
Secret, secret, I've got a secret.
Now everyone can see
Secret, secret, I've got a secret.
my true identity. I'm Kilroy,
What up, you too? What up, bud? Okay, what am I doing? Probably gonna do more Clair Obscure here in a little while. Right now I'm just doing, well, nothing really. I still gotta grind on Clair Obscure. I gotta find a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's a good game. Speaking of which, let's do this. Greetings. I am the Dingle. I am here to bring you DNN Daily News. Well, thank you, bud. This is serious business. This is real news. I got a logo and everything.
What's up, space pirates? This is
Okay, let's look at this. This guy's talking about some news that's very pertinent to me because they were doing Clair Obscure dirty by taking away their award. They won Game of the Year and they took it away. Which is crazy. Let me see what this guy's talking about.
these people with this way of thinking are going to go extinct, figuratively.
I don't want to hear this guy talk about it. I want to see news. I want to see the news. I don't have it all prepared. I'm kind of just looking for stuff as I go along. Maybe I could actually look it up. Of course, this is already like 2 weeks old, the news, but I haven't really looked at it yet. It says the stripped Game of the Year after alleged AI use. Last night, Clair Obscure, critically acclaimed breakout RPG from Sandfall Interactive took home yet another Game of the Year award. Only for the award to be completely stripped a few hours later. Trash. It's a great game. I don't care if they use AI. Clair Obscure gets the Dingle stamp of approval. At first spotted by Insider Gaming, the Indie Game Awards have stripped Expedition 33 of its Game of the Year and debut game wins after voting had been completed. And the show was recorded and later aired on Friday. The Indie Game Awards have a hard stance on the use of generative AI. Blah 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 blah. Statement from the website reads, when it was submitted for consideration, representatives of Sandfall Interactive agreed that no generative AI was used in the development. In light of Sandfall Interactive confirming the use of AI, it disqualifies him. Oh. Sorry. I got some tea. I'm drinking it. I'm kind of relaxed. This is it. This is the Dingle News. Anything goes. So that's the story of it then. It seems like they told them that there was no AI. Then there was. I guess they used it after the fact. That sucks. Color Obscure definitely deserved Game of the Year. At first I didn't think it would, because I was like, oh, this game's kind of weird. But I'm already almost 100 hours into the game. And I tell you what, it's a ringer. For sure. Let's check out some other news.
This is CNN breaking news.
Yes, that's right. DNN, not CNN. Don't see that? That's a typo.
Welcome to CNN. I'm Victor Blackwell in Atlanta. The breaking news this
This is my dude right here. I pay him. DNN.
President Trump says the U.S. carried out large-scale strikes on Venezuela overnight. He says its president, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife, Celia Flores, have been captured and flown out of the country. Attorney General
Oh, you got him. I heard they were taking him to New York.
Pam Bondi says both of them have been indicted and in a social media post says that they will, quote, soon face the full wrath of American justice.
Oh, they're gonna get the full wrath. They're getting it all. And then some. My favorite game right now is Clear Obscure, but overall, it's Fallout 76. I stream it sometimes, but not that much. I will probably do it again soon, but not anytime immediately soon, because I still got at least like 3 or 4 more streams of Clear Obscure to do. But yeah, I like it a lot. It's post-apocalyptic. I go around looking for stuff. I collected a lot of goodies, put it in my box, my storage box. I hoard it, all that good stuff. What games do you like? Do you play anything?
Venezuelan vice president says that she has no idea where Maduro and the First Lady are.
Faced with this brutal situation and this brutal attack, we do not know the whereabouts of President Nicolas Maduro and First.
Oh no shit, you don't know the whereabouts. His ass is ours now. Oh, you play in NCAA football? I was playing, I'm not sure which one it is. I got one of them. I was playing it. It's like the new one. It's a college football. I don't know if it's the same one or not. You play on PS5? Awesome. Yeah, I play on Game Pass on the computer. They have a college football. I was playing it. It's pretty good. It's pretty fun. I don't keep up with the stats or anything or who's winning what, but as far as gaming goes, it's fun. I like to do the interceptions. I like chasing the quarterbacks and smacking the crap out of them. You have an old NBA game you play? I got some too. I haven't played them though. I got like NBA 2K2 or something on PC. I never played it. I got it for free, I think. But I've always meant to play it, I just never did. Football always seems more fun. Basketball is cool too though. I've always liked basketball games since I play an emulator on here sometimes. It's got NBA Jam on it.
Lady Celia Flores. We demand immediate proof of life from the government of President Donald Trump. Proof of life for President Maduro and the First Lady.
President Trump says that he'll address the nation on the strikes from Mar-a-Lago later this morning. Right now, it's quiet in the capital of Caracas, just hours in the capital this morning.
Of course this is quiet. They got their sand to 'em.
President Trump says
Racing games? Oh yeah, I like racing games. I like Grand Theft Auto 5 too. I was playing that last night. I was redoing the story mode. I might do that on stream, I don't know. Starting from scratch. I only had like $200 on GTA 5. I was starting out. I was running around, beating people up, taking what little money I could. Let's see right here. Donald Trump says... You played a lot of the Mario games? Super Mario Smash Brothers is a favorite? Oh yeah, it's a good one. I think they had that one on Nintendo 64 too. I played a couple of them. They're awesome. Donald Trump says the United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11. Sincerely yours, the Donnie Trump.
That he'll address the nation on the strikes from Mar-a-Lago later this morning. Right now, it's quiet in the capital of Caracas.
Did they stream that already? They probably did. It's already like 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Just hours after the strikes, but earlier, explosions rocked Venezuela, knocked out power, and sent people running outside.
Holy shit. They got fucking rocked.
And this strike was at La Costa.
Holy hell, that looks like the apocalypse just happened. You see that shit? That's from like a video game. Oh man, that's awesome. We fucked some shit up, didn't we?
The strike was at La
Dingle president. You know what? Next time that there's an election, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have a campaign going.
Carlotta Air Base in Caracas. CNN's Nick Payton.
Look at that shit.
Walsh joins me now from London. Nick, we just heard from Issa Suarez speaking with some of her sources in country about the fear of what could come next because so many questions are unanswered.
Yeah, I mean, let's go.
Yeah, I like this guy's beard. This is how a beard's supposed to be. It's supposed to be on the shorter side, trimmed up. You got your cheeks and a little bit under the nose shaved up, looking good.
Through what we know has happened so far.
Cause I grew my beard out before and it was like way too long. I think I learned my lesson.
Since about 1 a.m. local time, and the series of explosions rocked Caracas and other parts of Venezuela. Multiple helicopters seen in the air, and then clearly a U.S. Special Forces operation that removed Nicolas Maduro and his wife from what should have been their heavily fortified and secured premises in the capital there. Hard to understate quite what a move this is geopolitically by the Trump White House to remove
America.
the sitting president of a country which it considers to be a regional irritant. Startling, successful, certainly, daring, certainly as well. And
holy shit! You see those explosions?
also efficient, frankly, given...
Oh, we're kicking ass, taking no prisoners, except for 2.
Seems the brevity, comparatively, of this operation and the impact that it is having. The Attorney General, Pam Bondi, hinting that the indictments in the Southern District of New York court will be the ones that Maduro faced. He had a $50 million bounty on his head, seeking information that could lead towards his capture. And it may well be that the delay we're seeing since Trump's tweet in the early hours of this morning, his 74-word social media post
The fuck is this?
that removed the
It's like something got blown to hell.
extraordinary mystery, frankly, or the unresponsibility of exactly what was happening in the skies of Caracas. Very quickly, to explain that, as many suspected, it was the US military behind this. It now appears that potentially the delay may be about transferring Maduro inside American soil for when President Trump addresses the nation about this move. Extraordinary as it is, but I think once perhaps for Trump allies, the exhilaration of removing...
They're just casually driving by a big old fire. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm gonna refill my drink. I'll be right back. Be right back. that's good. That's nice and sweet. Okay, where was I?
Maduro, who has been an authoritarian dictator behind violence against protesters and opponents for 13 years. Once that fades, the hard questions now must be answered.
Oops, that's embarrassing. Let me fix this real quick. Okay. There we go. I fixed it.
About what to do with Venezuela's crippled economy. That has been the reason why Maduro has needed to be authoritarian. The mismanagement of basic things like inflation foodstuffs that permeates that entire country. What happens now to Venezuela's military, heavily hit during this brief series of strikes? Should point out the explosions we've been seeing in these videos, utterly alien to life in sleepy, peaceful Caracas, will have terrified the millions who live there. What is the likely course for Venezuela's political elite? Is indeed Delcy Rodriguez the successor? Does she immediately seek a detente with the United States to prevent a similar abduction in the middle of the night?
Look at that shit. Bones over Baghdad. Fucking him up.
Occurring to
You know, at first I didn't know what to think about all this, because I was like, what's this have to do with anything? But I saw something where Trump was talking about how a long time ago, we built a lot of the infrastructure or whatever down there for the oil, and they pretty much took it from us by force. And Trump said that the other presidents didn't do crap about it. But it's like billions of dollars. So, yeah. Starting to think Trump did a good thing here, because if they did take stuff from us, we need to go there and fuck them up, because that's our shit. You know what I'm saying?
to her. These are all urgent questions, and I think the key thing here is for the United States to have planned for the
That's on top of the other crap going on with like the narcos or whatever.
aftermath of Maduro with the same efficiency, detail and resolve as they clearly planned his capture and abduction. The US military, very good at this sort of thing, be it bin Laden in Pakistan, Zawahiri, the Al-Qaeda leader in Afghanistan, Maduro, a man with lesser charges against him in Venezuela, but they fail repeatedly in what comes next. And I'm sure many in Venezuela will be deeply hoping that they now see some sort of future ahead of them where their economic and political problems become part of the United States focus and they're not just left to see further collapse. A reminder, the United States, particularly the Trump administration, want to see many of the hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans on US soil go home. And perhaps a calm and prosperous Venezuela would permit that to happen at a faster pace. But we are today in unprecedented territory. In Moscow and Beijing, they will be looking at how their ally, Maduro, is suddenly...
And you know what? I saw something the other day. They were talking about China, and they're ramping up for a major conflict of some kind. And I don't think it's very clear exactly what they're planning on doing. Also, on another front, Russia is doing the same thing. They're about ready to do something to Ukraine, like, big time. And something's boiling. And you know what? Everything's getting fucked up right now worldwide. There's a bunch of shit going on between us and everyone else. And Russia, Ukraine, China is getting ready to pop off on some front over there. I don't know what's going on.
whisked away from a place where he should have felt security of diplomacy, of the international world order. He may now soon be in a New York courthouse to face drug charges.
Russia, as I said a moment ago, is now asking for immediate clarification on the U.S. claims that it has captured Maduro.
They'll probably get that.
Yeah. Nick Peyton Walsh, thanks so much. Joining us now is CNN senior White House reporter Kevin Liptak. Kevin, again, we're going to hear from
He's like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. Anyway, we're gonna go over this guy.
at 11 a.m. Eastern, 3 hours from now. But I understand you have some new information about how this unfolded. What do you know?
Yeah, and what we understand
Tell me what you know.
is that the president gave the green light for this operation several days ago. That's according to people familiar with the matter. It was carried out by the elite Delta Force in the U.S. Army. That's the same group that captured Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi some years ago. So
Oh, Delta Force, Chuck Norris.
highly trained a force that went in to capture Maduro. They were tracking his location with the assistance of the CIA, and we know that the president had authorized the CIA to operate covertly inside of Venezuela, some weeks ago. We saw some of what they were doing just this week when we learned about that strike on a dock facility that the president said was transporting drugs. But now we're getting a fuller picture of what precisely that agency was doing there. Now, the goal here is to try Maduro on U.S. soil. We've been hearing that from officials. We just heard it explicitly from the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, who is citing that indictment in the Southern District of New York that was filed back in 2020. There was this bounty on Maduro, and what Bondi says is that...
Okay, that's why they're taking him to New York. They got some beef with him over there. They're taking his ass over there.
Both Maduro and his wife will soon face the full wrath of American justice on American soil in American courts. But to be sure, there are plenty of questions here being raised by members of Congress. It does not appear as if the Trump administration briefed, the relevant lawmakers or the relevant committees before taking that action. And this morning, it appears that the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, has been on the phone talking to senators to discuss some of what happened, and that some of them are revealing a little bit about their discussion. Mike Lee, the senator from Utah, said that the strikes that occurred in Venezuela were intended to protect the U.S. personnel who were capturing Maduro, that the president was relying on his Article 2.
Okay, I guess we're going in there with the Delta Force and the Army, and they're trying to prevent us from taking them. So all these strikes and stuff are probably us blasting the shit out of them, because they're trying to roll up on us, while we're rolling up on them. Can't have that. Don't you dare roll up on us while we're rolling up on you.
Authority, essentially his authority as commander-in-chief to conduct foreign policy to carry out these strikes. And
You see us roll up on you, you go hide in the closet and piss your pants. At least you keep your life.
I think most critically, what Rubio told Lee was that he anticipates no further action in Venezuela now that Maduro is in U.S. custody. So this appears to be it for now, what we've seen overnight. This is really the culmination of this months-long pressure campaign. There was, I think, some misgivings on the part of the president some months ago about where all of this was leading. We heard that from officials that...
Breaking news. Venezuelan vice president demands proof of life after Maduro capture. Says government does not know where he is. I can see that being an important thing.
He had some reservations that this could potentially all backfire if Maduro...
Are they straight up at war with us right now? Because he's making demands. The vice president demands it. If we have the actual president, how is this guy so brave to demand anything?
was ousted from power.
Damn, he's pretty brave, huh? I demand you give back our president, or at least show that he's alive.
Some questions about
Cause I'm mad.
whether this
Big
would be
mad.
effective, but clearly he has put those to the side and given the green light to go ahead. You know, I think President Trump is also of the era who will remember a mixed history of U.S. interventions in Latin America, including with the CIA. You know, today is 35 years exactly since the U.S. arrested the Panamanian dictator Manuel Noriega at the Vatican Embassy in Paris.
That shit got fucked up. Look at that. Big time.
Panama. So
I would not wish it upon anyone that I know to be in this sucker when it blew up, I'll tell you that much.
you know, there is a long, somewhat mixed history for the president to look back on here, but clearly eager to proclaim success in this.
Damn, man, they got some buses fucked up too. I hope it wasn't full of people.
Particular mission, and I think eager to show that justice will be served for what they claim is a drug trafficking charge. You know, the objectives in all of this have always, in a way, led to regime change. That was what the president's ultimate goal was here. We heard that explicitly from Susie Wiles in that Vanity Fair interview. But you also saw a number of different sort of rationales that the president has laid out, whether it was curbing the flow of drugs, whether it was curbing the flow of migrants. You also hear the president talk quite a bit about the oil. Of course, Venezuela is sitting on the world's largest proven oil reserves. And so I think when we hear from the president over at Mar-a-Lago down here in Palm Beach at 11 a.m., it's likely that we're going to hear sort of a combination of all of that. And
everybody's talking about we only went there because of the oil. I don't think that's true. You know what I'm saying? It's just convenient. Wink, wink. No, but really, there's a lot of stuff going on down there, apparently.
and certainly, I think the
Especially if it's true that they took stuff from us. They took the resources and everything that we poured into developing a lot of that.
question of what
And the narcos. Oh, the drugs.
next in Venezuela, what the president has been planning on that front, whether the U.S. sort of has any role.
Now, Donald Trump is insisting that the main reason he's interested in Venezuela, the main reason the U.S. is kind of looking at tankers off the coast of Venezuela comes back to drugs, the trade, the smuggling of illegal drugs out of Venezuela. But what if it's not just that? Maybe there's something else going on. What if it's partly about oil? Now, on the surface, you might be thinking, why does America even need Venezuelan oil? And I can kind of understand your point, because if you look at just total oil production, look, this is up until 2005, the US was there, Venezuela was there, Saudi Arabia was there.
Damn, the Saudis went up on it. They shot up real high. Between 67, 77? They went straight up. Look at that shit.
But as you probably know, since then, everything has changed. Look, America...
Whoa.
output has gone through the roof, way above Saudi Arabia, and Venezuela has gone basically to the floor, and that's going to post Chavez, Maduro. They're one of the minnows now, and I think 21st biggest producer in the world. So again, that question, why should America care? Well, in the US, that big rise is largely down to this. It's down to the shale revolution. So you've got fracking all around the US.
You got fracking. You got fucking all over the United States.
On crude oil. And here's where we get to the interesting bit. Because when you're thinking about crude oil, maybe you're just thinking about, well, look, barrels of oil. It's all the same, isn't it? Well, actually, no. So if you kind of look at crude oil, there are various different types of crude in different parts of the world. There's actually kind of various different ways you can categorize it, but one way you can look at it is look at the kind of dense.
Okay, there's different kinds. Global crude oil production by API gravity, measurement of crude oil density, heavy, medium, light.
So you're basically looking at how thick that crude is, and when I say thick, I mean literally how thick. This is showing you global production broken down by the density of that oil. And so you've got the kind of medium stuff. And this is probably, if you've got kind of image in your mind of what crude oil looks like, it's a bit like this, it's kind of black, but it's not too viscous, it flows around.
Black gold, Texas tea.
But there's other stuff as well. So this is light crude.
What the fuck? I've never seen that shit before. Looks like somebody made some of that, what's that healthy drink with the avocados and stuff in it? The green one? Looks like someone got a bunch of veggies and put it in a blender.
And it kind of almost looks like a smoothie, doesn't it? And that's the same stuff. This is still crude oil, but down to the kind of geological and the biological conditions in the ground when it was being formed, you know, hundreds of millions of years ago, it comes out looking a bit different. And so that's light. You've also
It's like broccoli and celery. Got blended up.
got heavy stuff. And it's kind of relatively small in global production, but this is gloopy, super viscous stuff. Heavy oil, so heavy, medium, light.
Holy shit, that's thick.
Remember that. And remember also, the key thing here is, you get it out of the ground, it may look like that, but ultimately, you still need it to go into, you know, someone's car, or indeed, you know, be turned into chemicals. Basically, you need to process it, and that processing, that happens in places like this, in refineries, and there are refineries all over the world, of course. There are refineries all over the US as well. There's kind of more than 100 of them. And if we kind of look at where those refineries are, well, so there's some in California. So the history in America, actually, historically, a lot of the early Californian oil, that was the heavy, gloopy stuff. And if you look at kind of some of the refineries in America, so here are some of the refineries. There's one in LA there. These are the 10 biggest. You've got some up here around kind of towards Canada. We'll kind of come to that in a second. But a lot of them are down there, kind of Texas, Louisiana, on the coast. And here's the critical thing. These refineries are primarily set up for heavy oil, for taking that.
I knew there was a lot of them down here in like South Texas. I knew there was at least one.
Gloopy
But damn, they got like 3.
stuff and turning it into gasoline and all of
3
the
big
other different
ones.
products. But here's where things get interesting. And remember that chart I showed you a moment ago, the one which showed kind of shale oil and how it kind of went through the roof? The oil that's generally produced with shale oil, the fracking oil, that comes out
Fracking.
of the ground mostly in the light form. So it's the smoothie. It's sometimes actually even clear. It comes out of the ground clear rather than black. And that's the majority of American production right now. Shale oil tends to be light stuff, and actually that's kind of going back 10 years. Look at where we are now. Look at those bars. In the last few years, the amount of light oil being produced in the US has gone up and up and up, and the amount of kind of heavy stuff has gone down. But back to those refineries. They need to be fed. If America's going to have gasoline, it needs to feed those refineries with heavy oil. So if you look at the kind of imports coming into America, in recent years, even though America is producing just so much oil, more oil than it ever produced before, it still needs to suck in loads of oil from overseas. And the type of oil we're talking about, it used to be, it's mostly heavy crude. It used to be only 12%. So only 12% of imports were heavy, gloopy crude.
Okay, the light is the majority. Medium, there's quite a lot of that. And the heavy.
Now, it's about 70%. So 70% of the oil coming into America, which it needs to basically keep its economy going, is heavy crude. And where does heavy crude come from? Well, here are some of the big countries where you find most of it. It's Canada and Venezuela.
Oh. Okay. It's not just black and white. Oil is oil. You gotta have the heavy crude. And heavy crude, like he just said, Canada and Venezuela. Oddly enough, they're talking about making Canada part of the US. So that'd be a great idea, as far as the heavy crude goes.
There's one other I'll come to in a second, which we'll come back to. But it's Canada and it's Venezuela where you get most of this heavy crude oil, which is why, about to think about where those refineries are, they're mostly set up kind of, you've got some in the north there to get the heavy oil coming out of Canada, and you've got some around the kind of Louisiana and elsewhere and Texas to get that heavy oil that comes in from Venezuela. That was kind of the way they were set up. And it's really expensive to rebuild these things. You can't just chuck out a refinery very easily overnight. Some came from Mexico and the Gulf of Mexico as well, and that was pretty heavy too. So that's the picture in America. And the upshot is, even though America is producing more and more oil, the imports, this is showing you imports of oil into America, are still really high. And if you break down those imports by the country that stuff is coming from, Well, there's Venezuela, and it used to be a decent slug, actually more coming from Venezuela just about than from Canada, just at the turn of the millennium. But now look at what's happened since. Right now, Canada has gone from 15% of all of the US imports of oil to 61%. 61%, and Venezuela's basically next to nothing. But here's what's tantalizing, and here's the reason I think that a lot of people are looking towards Venezuela and thinking, well, there's more to this than just drugs. Look at total oil reserves around the world. The higher these bars are, the more oil there is in the ground, so that has...
Okay, so this is the reserves, like you said, underground. Got Libya, us, Russia, Kuwait. These two are not surprising. Canada's up there.
Hasn't yet been taken out of the ground, so there you've got Saudi, Iran, Iraq, all of the usual suspects. But the biggest of all, and this is according to various different sources, the biggest of all is Venezuela. And what's that oil? It's the heavy, tarry stuff that you might well want to put into those American refineries. And there is really only one other place in the world that has a kind of serious amount of heavy oil other than Canada and Venezuela, and lo and behold...
Okay, so he's explaining what kind of oil they had and why it's important. That was interesting.
Mr. President, you said that the U.S. is going to run Venezuela, so who's in power right now?
Well, we're going to be running
He said we're gonna run it?
with a group, and we're going to make sure it's run properly. We're going to rebuild the oil infrastructure, which will cost billions of dollars. It'll be paid for by the oil companies directly. They will be reimbursed for what they're doing, but it's going to be paid. And we're going to get the oil flowing the way it should be. As you know, it was just a minor flow. It was actually a minor flow for what they have. But we're going to run it properly, and we're going to make sure the people of Venezuela are taken care of. We're going to make sure the people that were forced out of Venezuela by this thug are also taken care of.
Mr. President, does the U.S. running the country mean that U.S. troops will be on the ground? How will that work?
Well, you know, they always say boots on the ground. Oh, so we're not afraid of boots on the ground if we have to have. We had boots on the ground last night at a very high level, actually.
Oh, hell yeah, they did. You saw all the explosions and stuff a while ago.
We're not afraid of it. We don't mind saying it. But we're going to make sure that that country is run properly. We're not doing this in vain. This is a very dangerous attack. This is an attack that could have gone very, very badly. Could have gone very badly. We could have lost a lot of people last night. We could have lost a lot of dignity. We could have lost a lot of equipment. The equipment is less important, but we could have lost a lot. And we're going to make sure that this is proper. We're there now. We're ready to go again if we have to. We're going to run the country right. It's going to be run very judiciously, very fairly. It's going to make a lot of money. We're going to give money to the people. We're going to reimburse people that were taken advantage of. We're going to take care of everybody. It's very important. We couldn't let them get away with it. You know, they stole our oil. We built that whole industry there.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. I saw something about him claiming that we built a lot of the infrastructure and stuff over there, and they pretty much used force to kick us out.
And they just took it over like we were nothing, and we had a president that decided not to do anything about it. So we did something about it. We're late, but we did something about it. Yeah, please.
Are you explaining the exact mechanism by which you're going to run the country? Are you going to designate a U.S. official to coordinate?
Yes, it's all being done right now. We're designating people. We're talking to people. We're designating various people, and we're going to let you know who those people are.
That would run Venezuela.
Well, it's largely going to be for a period of time the people that are standing right behind me. We're going to be running it. We're going to be bringing it back. It's a dead, you know, I talk about a dead country. A year and a half ago, we were a dead country. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're a country doing better than any country anywhere in the world. And it required leadership. Venezuela has a lot of bad people in there, a lot of bad people that shouldn't be leading. We're not going to take a chance that one of those people take over for Maduro. So you can look at, and others. We have fantastic people, including people in the military. So we're going to have a group of people running it until such time as it can be put back on track, make a lot of money for the people, and give people a great way of life, and also reimbursement for people in our country that were forced out of Venezuela.
That's true. I mean, if you're sitting on that kind of oil reserve over there, you should be living it up.
Rubio would be.
You said earlier today that you weren't going to back Machado to come back and be the opposition leader in your Fox and Friends interview. And then you also mentioned the vice president of Venezuela. Are you going to work with the vice president of Venezuela, or how do you foresee the relationship
I
going?
understand she was just sworn in, but she was, as you know, picked by Maduro. So Marco's working on that directly. He just had a conversation with her, and she's essentially willing to do what we think is necessary to make Venezuela great again. Very simple.
Mr. President, Colombian President Gustavo Petro, a couple weeks ago, he said he's got to watch his ass. And today, he said he's not concerned about anything happening to him in the aftermath of this operation. So, just what your message is
well,
about that?
He has cocaine mills. He has factories where he makes cocaine. And yeah, I think I stick by my first statement. He's making cocaine. They're sending it into the United States. So he does have to watch his ass.
Oh yeah, you better watch his ass. We don't want that coke.
Did you notify any members of Congress in advance?
Marco, do you want to talk about that? Because you were involved in it.
Sure. We called members of Congress immediately after. This was not the kind of mission that you can do congressional notification on. It was a trigger-based mission in which conditions had to be met night after night. We watched and monitored that for a number of days. So it's just simply not the kind of mission you can call people and say, hey, we may do this at some point in the next 15 days. But it's largely a law enforcement function. Remember, at the end of the day, at its core, this was an arrest of 2 indicted fugitives of American justice, and the Department of War supported the Department of Justice in that job. Now, there are broader policy implications here, but it's just not the kind of mission that you can pre-notify because it endangers the mission.
Well, that guy did a good job explaining it.
Plus, if I could add one thing to that, Congress has a tendency to leak. This would not be good. If they leaked, General, I think it would have been maybe a very different result. But I have to say...
Yeah, that's true. You got leaks and shit. I mean, all the people need is a heads up. A few hours heads up, and it's a totally different ball game.
They knew we were coming at some point, you know. We had a lot of ships out there. They sort of knew we were coming. We went there. But Congress will leak, and we don't want leakers.
President, you were one of the only people to watch this all play out live. What was Maduro doing when the U.S. forces entered what I assume would be his home? And also, was there any point where the U.S. was considering if Maduro pushed back or resisted killing Maduro?
It could have happened. It could have happened. He was trying to get into a safe place. You know what a safe place is, all steel. And he wasn't able to make it to the door because our guys were so fast. They went through the opposition so fast. And there was a lot of opposition. You know, people were wondering, do we get them by surprise? Sort of surprised, but they were waiting for something. There was a lot of opposition. There was a lot of gunfire. You saw some of it today. But he was trying to get to a safe place, which wasn't safe because we would have had the door blown up in about 47 seconds, they say on average, regardless of how thick the steel was. It was a very thick door. It was a very heavy door, but...
Yeah, I'm sure they all are ready to go like that at all times. I mean, they're professionals. They probably carried all of the explosives. What's that stuff that they use on the movies? I think it's called, like, plastique or something. It's like a Play-Doh looking. And you put it on the hinges or the door. It's crazy. You got all kinds of cool stuff.
He was unable to get to that door. He made it to the door. He was unable to close it.
Oh, he was probably closing it. And while he was closing it, they were like, foot in the door.
Go ahead, finish.
Where is Maduro going to be in the time being right now? Do you know his exact
Well,
whereabouts?
eventually, ultimately, in the near future, he's going to be brought to New York.
And where is he going to be held? Where is he going to be held in New York? Do you know?
That's going to be up to the officials that do these things.
Mr. President, the U.S. has something of a mixed track record of ousting dictators without necessarily a plan for what comes afterwards.
Not with
Did
me,
that weigh on your decision?
Well, that's when we had different presidents, but with me, that's not true. With me, we've had a perfect track record of winning we win a lot, and we win. If you look at Soleimani, you look at al-Baghdadi, you look at the Midnight Hammer.
Al-Baghdadi? What the fuck?
Midnight Hammer was incredible. Right now, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East.
Midnight Hammer.
You know, essentially peace in the Middle East because of that. If we weren't successful with Midnight Hammer, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. So, with me, you've had a lot of victory. You've had only victories. You've had no losses. Yeah.
Can you?
He's by winning.
How long do you expect the U.S. to run Venezuela, and how soon do you want Venezuelan people to hold elections?
So I'd like to do it quickly, but it takes a period of time. You know, we're rebuilding. We have to rebuild their whole infrastructure. The infrastructure is rotted. It's actually very dangerous. It's blow-up territory. Oil is very dangerous. It's a very dangerous thing to take out of the ground. Can kill a lot of people. It has killed a lot of people doing just that. The infrastructure is old. It's rotted. Much of it is stuff that we put there 25 years ago, and we're going to be replacing it, and we're going to take a lot of money out so that we can take care of the country. Yeah.
Are you saying that Secretary Rubio and...
Yeah, take care of them, take care of us, everybody's happy.
Mr. President, China, Russia, and Iran have interests in Venezuela. How does this...
What? China and Russia and Iran? What the fuck they got doing?
This operation affect your relationships with them when it comes to the oil and
China
drugs?
and Russia,
fuck Russia, fuck China, fuck them all.
Russia when we get things straightened out. But in terms of other countries that want oil, we're in the oil business. We're going to sell it to them. We're not going to say we're not going to give it to them. In other words, we'll be selling oil probably in much larger doses because they couldn't produce very much because their infrastructure was so bad.
That's true. If they're not putting the effort and the money into getting it pumped out and everything, it's just sitting there. You gotta get somebody in there with the gusto. Get in there and get it done.
So we'll be selling large amounts of oil to other countries, many of whom are using it now, but I would say many more will come.
Are you saying that, Mr. President, are you saying that... Oh,
Mr. President, thank you. What is your message to the people of Venezuela today? Of course, the civilian population specifically, they have a lot of questions. What is your message to the people of Venezuela?
What is your message to people? Free at last, free at last.
You're going to have peace, justice. You're going to have some of the riches that you should have had for a long period of time. It was stolen from you. But you're going to have peace, and you're going to have safety, you're going to have justice, you're going to have a country. You're going to have a real country. You're going to have potentially a great country. You know, if you go back 20 years, maybe even a little longer ago, that was a great country, and they destroyed it. Remember I said that if election, the United States will be Venezuela on steroids. That's what would have happened. Had we lost the election, the 2024 election, we suffered so badly when you look at the border from 2020, what they did, what Joe Biden administration did to our country should never be forgotten. But if we had to go through another year of that, we would be exactly where Venezuela was in terms, I used to say, if they win, we're going to be Venezuela on steroids, and that's what would have happened.
Yeah, everything was fucked up with Biden. Biden was trash.
Thank you. Are you saying that...
Wearing his diapers, shit.
Secretary Hegseth and Rubio are going to be running Venezuela, and will you be sending in U.S. military troops to provide...
That's working with the people of Venezuela to make sure that we have Venezuela right. Because for us to just leave, who's going to take over? I mean, there is nobody to take over. You have a vice president who's been appointed by Maduro, and right now she's the vice president, and she's, I guess, the president. She was sworn in as president just a little while ago. She had a long conversation with Marco, and she said, we'll do whatever you...
That's what they all say. She was appointed by him. She's probably not good news. And of course she's gonna tell him that. Anything you say, we'll do. And watch. It's not gonna go good.
I think she was quite gracious, but she really doesn't have a choice. We're going to have this done right. We're not going to just do this with Maduro, then leave like everybody else, leave and say, let it go to hell.
Mission accomplished. We're gone.
If we just left, it has zero chance of ever coming back. We'll run it properly. We'll run it professionally. We'll have the greatest oil companies in the world go in and invest billions and billions of dollars and take out money, use that money in Venezuela. And the biggest beneficiary are going to be the people of Venezuela. And also, I can't stress this strongly enough, the people that got thrown out of Venezuela that are now in the United States, and frankly, some want to stay and some probably want to go back, yeah.
What's being done to protect Americans in the country, and were any of the detained Americans?
Well, right now they're very protected because nobody's going to mess with us. They're very protected. The people of, and we let them know that you better not touch one of them.
Why are you concerned that bad elements of the Maduro regime will remain in place?
Well, we know who they are. We're on them, and they're acting much differently now than they would have acted 2 days ago. Okay, wait, behind you, please.
Mr. President, why is running a country in South America...
Oh yeah, they're acting differently. We went in there and kicked their ass and literally took their president. That pretty much rocks you to the core.
America first.
Well, I think it is because we want to surround ourselves with good neighbors. We want to surround ourselves with stability. We want to surround ourselves with energy. We have tremendous energy in that country. It's very important that we protect it. We need that for ourselves. We need that for the world. And we want to make sure we can protect it. Yes, sir. Please, go ahead.
Is there a message here for Cuba and Diaz-Canel?
Well, Cuba's an interesting case. Cuba is, not doing very well right now. That system has not been a very good one for Cuba. The people there have suffered for many, many years. And I think Cuba is going to be something we'll end up talking about because Cuba is a failing nation right now, very badly failing nation. And we want to help the people. It's very similar in the sense that we want to help the people in Cuba, but we want to also help the people that were forced out of Cuba and living in this country. Do you want to say something about that, Marco, please?
Well, I mean, I just gave you a statement a few minutes ago about, when the president speaks, you should take him seriously. Suffice it to say, Cuba is a disaster. It's run by incompetent, senile men, and in some cases, not senile.
Damn, incompetent, senile men.
But incompetent nonetheless. It has no economy. It's in total collapse. And by the way, they were, all of the guards that helped protect Maduro, this is well known, their whole spy agency, all that were full of Cubans. I mean, it's amazing. This poor island took over Venezuela in some cases. One of the biggest problems that Venezuelans have is they have to declare independence from Cuba. They tried to basically colonize it from a security standpoint. So, yeah, look, if I lived in Havana and I was in the government, I'd be concerned, at least a little.
What? They're being protected by Cubans? So the Cubans are behind a lot of the drugs, or what?
Putting up the oil flow to Cuba from Venezuela?
Well, the president already announced a week ago that anything that's sanctioned, it's sanctioned oil, it's not going to be allowed to get there. So that's a pre-existing.
Mr. President.
The answer is yes.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Is the U.S. aware of the location of opposition leader Machado, and have you been in contact with her?
No, we haven't. No, we haven't.
Mr. President.
Do you have any hesitations about Machado?
Mr. President, on Monday.
Oh, I think it would be very tough for her to be the leader. She doesn't have the support within, or the respect within the country. She's a very nice woman, but she doesn't have the respect to be.
Mr. President, is it possible that the U.S. ends up administrating Venezuela for years?
Well, it won't cost us anything because the money coming out of the ground is very substantial, so it's not going to cost us anything. We want safety there. We want to be surrounded by countries that aren't housing all of our enemies all over the world. That's what was happening, and you don't want to have that. But we're going to be rebuilding, and we're not spending money. The oil companies are going to go in. They're going to spend money. We're going to take back the oil that, frankly, we should have taken back a long time ago. A lot of money is coming out of the ground. We're going to get reimbursed for all of that. We're going to get reimbursed for everything that we spend. So it's going to be a very important. This is a very big evening that took place last night. We have to be surrounded by safe, secure countries, and we also have to have energy. Very important. We have to have energy that's real energy, not where they're getting 4% and 5% of the energy out of the ground. You take a look. It was such a disaster. So what's going to happen?
Damn, they were sitting on all the oil. According to that chart I saw, apparently it's like the biggest source of heavy crude oil, like that one guy said. So they're sitting on it and only pumping out 4 or 5% of it. which I guess is good for longevity, but I guess the world needs it. And if the biggest quantities of the heavy are only coming out of Canada and Venezuela, that puts a lot of pressure on Canada to use all of theirs. So I guess economically it's making sense. Because it's not just us that needs oil. Like they stated, Russia and China and others are really needing it as well.
With Venezuela, I think over the next period of a year is going to be a great thing, and the people of Venezuela will be the biggest beneficiaries.
Mr. President, U.S. military.
Mr. President, thank you. What did you last speak to Maduro about when you spoke? And is the
Well, I don't want to get into the conversations, but I did have conversations with him, and I said,
I did have conversations with them, and I said, "Get wrecked, bitch."
you got to surrender. And I actually thought he was pretty close to doing so, but now he wished he did, yeah.
You said that Maduro is responsible for drug trafficking. You recently pardoned the former president of Honduras who was...
Oh, you got a serious question right there. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm back.
Was convicted of many drug trafficking. Can you explain how these two situations are
Well,
different? And would you ever pardon Maduro?
I endorsed, as you know, the winning president, the man who won in Honduras. I endorsed the man who won in Chile. I endorsed the man who won in Argentina. And we are doing very well with that whole group. What the man that I pardoned was, if you could equate it to us, he was treated like the Biden administration treated a man named Trump. That didn't work out too well for them. This was a man who was persecuted very unfairly. He was the head of the country. He was persecuted very unfairly. And there are a number of them. And we felt that it was a very unfair situation that happened to him. He's also a party member of the man who won. So obviously the people liked what I did. And one of the reasons that was done is because of the fact that the party in power felt very strongly that that man was treated very badly. I studied it very quickly, and then I studied it in great detail. I went to a lot of the people standing behind me, and they felt that that man was persecuted and treated very badly. That's why I gave him a pardon.
You referenced boots on the ground earlier. Can you just sort of button this up? Do you envision the U.S. military having a presence in Venezuela as the U.S. runs that
Well,
country?
no, we're going to have a presence in Venezuela as it pertains to oil, because we have to have, we're sending our expertise in. So you may need something, not very much. But no, we're going to be taking out a tremendous amount of wealth out of the ground.
Yeah, they got that much going into it. Like you said, we're putting billions of dollars into the infrastructure and everything down there. Of course we're going to have military down there watching our asses. That's given. That should be a given.
And that wealth is going to the people of Venezuela and people from outside of Venezuela that used to be in Venezuela. And it goes also to the United States of America in the form of reimbursement for the damages caused us by that country. So I want to thank you all very much. Thank you. Do you have one? Yes, please. You were so nice before. I'm going to give you the final question. Go
Thank
ahead.
you, Mr.
Unless it's a bad question, in
It's
which
about
case
Putin.
I'll go one word. It's about
It's like, unless it's a bad question, then I'm gonna go eat Pizza Hut.
It's about Putin, if you want.
About Putin. Well, that's
Okay.
always nice
You had
to
a
talk
phone.
about Putin.
You had a phone call with him on Monday. Did he talk at all about Maduro? Did y'all talk about this?
No, we didn't.
And
We
then-
never spoke about Maduro.
Are you mad at him right now? I mean, there's this
I'm not
intelligence.
thrilled with Putin. I'm not thrilled with Putin. He's killing too many people.
Was that
I
intelligence?
thought that would be so. I settled 8 1/4 war. You know what the 1/4 was? Thailand and Cambodia. I did it again. They broke out, and I did it in about 5 hours, and I settled it. I'm giving myself 1/4, so I'm up to now 8 1/4. In other words, I settled the war, but then they broke out. They had a pretty bad breakout over the last 4 days. I got them to go back to peace. So I only give 1/4. I thought the easiest one would be, one of the easier ones would be Russia, Ukraine. It's not. And they both have done some pretty bad things. And look, that's Biden's war. That's not my war. But I want to stop the lives. Did you see where last month, 30,000, it was 27,000 the month before. 30,000, mostly soldiers, were killed this last month. 30,000.
Well, that's a lot. And that's per month.
I want to stop that. You know, I got NATO to pay 5% instead of the 2% that they weren't paying. They weren't paying 2, now they pay 5. And we send them a lot of munitions, we send them a lot of things, missiles and various other things, a lot. And they pay. The United States is not losing money. We're probably making money on that. It's the last thing I care about. I just want to stop all those people. We're losing 25, 30,000 human beings that come from 2 places that are very far away. But if I can stop, because it's something I've been pretty good at doing, deals, I guess. It's all a deal. Life is a big deal. But if I can stop that war and stop 30,000 young people, in addition to the fact that people are being killed in Kiev, people are being killed in other cities, you know, a much smaller number, but they're being killed, viciously killed. So I'm not happy about it. I thought that would be something that would get solved. We have Mr. Witkoff here. I think that we're making progress, but That's a war that should have never happened. If I were president, it would have never happened. Putin says it. Everybody says it. If I were president, that would have never happened. But I inherited that war. That was Joe Biden, Zelensky, and Putin. I came into the situation, and it's a mess. And I will say this. I watched an operation last night that was so precise, that was so brilliant. I mean, it was incredible. If we had our people, like this general and our people involved, that war would not have gone on very long, that I can tell you.
Yeah, 30,000 people dying per month is a lot. They need to stop that war over there in Russia and Ukraine.
That war, to use an old term, that war has become a bloodbath. And we want it to get stopped. Thank you very much.
It looks like he's ready to go eat lunch. He's taking off. What else we got here? Let's look for something else in the news. That's pretty interesting though. I usually don't look at new stuff. Like, I don't watch the news. I don't really delve too much into other countries and stuff. But a lot of this stuff is just kind of interesting that I'm seeing today. Cartels are running Mexico.
I wonder, Mr. President, I want to ask you because from your Vice President, J.D. Vance, said that the message is pretty clear that drug trafficking must stop. So was this operation a message that you're sending to Mexico, to Claudia Sheinbaum, the president there?
Well, it wasn't meant to be, and we're very friendly with her. She's a good woman, but the cartels are running Mexico. She's not running Mexico.
Well, even if it wasn't a message, or if it wasn't meant to be a message to him, he should take it as one, because if he sees that we're able to go in and do it this easily in Venezuela, we could definitely do it to him.
Cartels are running Mexico. And we could be politically correct and be nice and say, oh, yes, she is. No.
Or her, sorry.
She's very frightened of the cartels. They're running Mexico. And I've asked her numerous times, would you like us to take out the cartels? No, Mr. President. No, please. So we have to do something because we lost. The real number is 300,000 people, in my opinion. You know, they like to say 100,000. 100,000 is a lot of people, but the real number is 300,000 people, and we lost it to drugs, and they come in through the southern border, mostly the southern border. Plenty come in through Canada, too, by the way, in case you don't know. But they come in through the southern border, and something's going to have to be done with Mexico.
Why did you decide to do this morning?
Why? Because it's go time.
Talking about calling you people or the shot?
No, taking out
I'm not sure which is.
It's fate.
I'm not sure which is worse. If you want to know the truth, I'm calling you. I haven't spoken to anybody else because Charlie Hurd has been a great friend of mine for a long time. He was with me when it was not fashionable, and those are the people I like. He was with me, Charlie, when it was not at all fashionable. So. That's the reason I'm doing this, and your show is great. You're doing a great job. What a good team.
But I meant, why did you make the decision?
Damn, that face he's making in that picture right there looks like he's serious. He's like, don't fuck with me. I got missiles coming shut.
To take out Maduro this morning. And what was Maduro doing when our guys came in on him?
What was he doing? He was gooning. We went in, and we caught Maduro gooning. We totally caught him gooning, and we took him in.
So we were going to do this 4 days ago, but the weather was not perfect. The weather has to be perfect. And we had just the perfect weather. We had, very good. A little bit few more clouds than we thought, but it was good. We waited 4 days. We were going to do this 4 days ago, 3 days ago, 2 days ago. And then all of a sudden it opened up and we said go. And I'll tell you, it was just amazing. And what was he doing? He was in a very highly guarded, like a fortress, actually. He was in a fortress. You know, that we had nobody killed was amazing. I think we had nobody killed, I have to say, because a couple of guys were hit, but they came back and they're supposed to be in pretty good shape. But that we had nobody killed, that we lost no aircraft. You know, everything came back. We got it all back. One of them was hit pretty hard, but a helicopter, but we got it back. But it just was the right time to do it. We had to do it because it's a war. We're losing 300,000 people a year. We don't lose that much in a war, okay, if you look. And we had to do it. But he was in a house that was more like a fortress than a house. It had steel doors. It had what they call a safety space, where it's, you know, solid steel all around. He didn't get that space closed. He was trying to get into it, but he got bum rushed so fast.
Well, it's like one of those safe rooms or whatever. It's made like with real thick walls and it keeps you safe.
That he didn't get into that. We were prepared. We had, you know, massive blowtorches and everything else that you need to get through that steel, but we didn't need it. He didn't make it to that area of the house.
Mr. President, your war on narco-terrorism from our southern border and beyond clearly will save American lives. Moving forward for Venezuela, what do you think is next for the Venezuelan people now that you have removed Maduro so that he can face American justice?
Well, we're making that decision now. We can't take a chance on letting somebody else run and just take over where he left or left off. So we're making that decision now. We'll be involved in it very much. And we want to do liberty for the people. We want to, you know, have a great relationship.
Let's bring in Jonathan Turley now, Fox News contributor, George Washington University law professor, and one of the smartest legal brains of our time. And Jonathan, I've been reading tweets all day long, members of Congress saying...
This right here, it says the title, Maduro is viewed as a usurper and drug lord.
It's a legal operation. They, of course, are harping that it's unjustified and they're going into the politics. But go directly, because you've been tweeting about this morning already. You say that the President Trump is justified in what he has done overnight.
No, he has precedent on his side. What Maduro is going to be re-arguing is essentially the case of Noriega, who we did the same type of operation and sort of a snatch and grab, and then prosecuted him, in that case in Florida. He made many of the arguments that we will expect from Maduro and lost. I mean, and if anything, I think Maduro presents a weaker case than Noriega. I mean, in this case, you have a really extensive record and indictment against Maduro in New York. And, you know, when the vice president...
Yeah, that's why they won his ass over there. Well, it looks like that's the majority of what's plastered all over the news today. Let's look for anything else other than this Maduro crap. Very interesting, but I think we've been going over that for about an hour now. Let's look for something else. That is all over the place. Looks like Iran's about ready to pop off.
But first, breaking tonight, President Trump is warning Iran the United States will intervene if the Islamic Republic begins killing protesters. Iranians have been demonstrating against poor economic conditions for several days. At least 7 people have died. Iran says the U.S. and Israel are inciting the protests. This comes as there appears to be possible movement with Venezuela. Correspondent Lucas Tomlinson is in West Palm Beach, Florida tonight. Good evening, Lucas.
Good evening, Rich. The nationwide protests in Iran have been spreading throughout the week to dozens of cities. Now President Trump issuing a fresh warning to Iran, saying U.S. military has conducted strikes in the country before and will do so again if necessary. As protests in Iran stretch into their 6th day, President Trump firing off a new warning to the regime. If Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States of America will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. While some say they support more pressure.
Damn, he spoke like a G right there. He's like, come get some. He's like, Fafo, fuck around and find out. You touch any Americans? We'll come for that ass, locked and loaded.
On Iran, not all are on board with another round of strikes.
To say we're locked and loaded is just another empty threat, like Trump's threats to take over Greenland or Panama or Canada.
In the Western Hemisphere, a possible breakthrough with Venezuela. A sign the U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean is working, causing Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro to make concessions. Maduro now says he's open to resuming talks with the White House.
If they want to seriously discuss an agreement to combat drug trafficking, we're ready. If they want oil, Venezuela is ready for U.S. investment, like with Chevron. Whenever they want it, wherever they want it, and however they want it.
The White House says the president has not made a decision on how to proceed.
This president has all options at his disposal. It's natural that Maduro would want to talk, but it's up to the president on what he wants to do.
The president has also been huddling with his economic team on his priorities for the coming year, including tariffs, where the White House announced plans to delay levies on furniture, kitchen cabinets, and vanities for a year, and reduce tariffs on 13 Italian pasta exporters. Trump previously walked back his tariffs on coffee and bananas as a Supreme Court decision on Trump's tariffs agenda looms.
I don't know, don't be raising the price on the coffee now.
Trump is likely to lose this Supreme Court case, which will probably come down in the next 6 weeks.
The president also
Bring down the price of that coffee. I'm on the fence right now. I'm thinking about doing some gaming, but I'm not quite sure if that's what I want to do. I kind of like the aspect of doing a chill stream right now. Just chilling, let's work, you know. Because on that game that I'm doing right now, the Clair Obscure game, I'm pretty much got a to-do list. I gotta go do a bunch of stuff. Find a bunch of stuff. Nice cold beverage. I'm pretty sure most of the news is gonna be about Venezuela right now. It took me a while just to find that little clip about Iran. Driverless trucks?
All the way, Gandhi. Hey, Gandhi, no, Gandhi.
Can you imagine having a tiger or a lion attack you? I don't even want to imagine it. They are very big, very heavy, very strong, very sharp teeth and claws.
Gandhi. No.
Damn, straight up smacking them.
Dead.
Damn, they're just smacking the shit out of him. Don't they have like bear mace or something they could use on him?
I'm okay. I'm okay. Close the door. No. No. Close the door. No.
That could have been dangerous. He just straight up wailing on him. That'd be awesome if Trump did say that as a response to a threat from Iran or anyone else. Just straight up, only 4 letters. FAFO. Fuck around, find out. And like an emoji of a gun or something. It's so simple and to the point. Okay, we got something about our new super flu going around.
So it's not just the snow spreading across the country. As winter settles in, the flu season is also running rampant. The so-called super...
Let's see here. 25-26 influenza season. Week 51. Let's see, very high is red. Got sporadically throughout the U.S.
Flu is emerging as the dominant strain in the U.S., and the CDC estimates at least 4.6 million cases so far fueled by this variant. Here with more Fox News senior medical analyst and author of the book, The Miracles Among Us, Dr. Mark Siegel joins us. Dr. Siegel, good to see you.
Lawrence, great to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So tell us, is this really a super variant? It seems like every year around this time, we get some alerts saying the flu is out of control.
Lawrence, it's not the actual mutations that I'm worried about. This is an influenza A, H3N2. It had a bad flu season in Australia this year, which predicts a bad flu season here, and it affects a lot of young people. What I'm concerned about is that the rate of hospitalizations of those 4.6 million people is about 48,000, which to me is a lot, because we end up every year with about 100 to 200,000 hospitalizations, but kids are being affected more, and the flu shot, which does decrease the risk of that by 30%, is not a great match because of this mutation. So it's a bad flu, and it is the bad time, but look, you're talking...
Here's the symptoms. Cough, fever, sore throat, runny or stuffed nose, body aches and fatigue.
About bad weather, cold weather, snowstorms you just showed. People huddle inside, they huddle close together. Maybe they don't wash their hands. They got to realize that flu spreads on surfaces. You got to be on the lookout for the symptoms you're now showing. Cough, fever. Suddenly, they used to call it the grip, because suddenly you're walking along and the next thing you know, you're fatigued, you're laid out, you have joint aches, muscle aches, cough, runny nose, headache. That's the flu.
All right, doctor. Another story I want to get you to weigh in on is why taking time to do absolutely nothing this week could be one of the best things for your overall health. This is what this psychologist, the director of the Manhattan Therapy Collective, had to say. So it's important to have off time, not only to prevent burnout, but it also helps us to enrich our lives and sense of identity or worth beyond what we do, certainly. Productivity can be impactful and good, but if it's the only way we know how to feel good about ourselves, it's likely to lead to overworking and exhaustion. I kind of agree with this, Doc. You know, you got to have purpose, but you got to reset sometimes as well.
Oh yeah, you gotta have rest.
So you can
Very
live
important.
And fight another day, right?
I agree with you and love this sentiment, but I want to point out, I know you well, Lawrence, and you are inspiring me because of the equanimity that you show all the time. You're a guy that doesn't seem to let things get to you. But if that's true, inside, It's inside, maybe it still does. I got to tell you, for myself, taking a day of rest, not overdoing it, not overindulging, because this time of year with New Year's is a time when holiday heart syndrome, you can infect your heart by drinking too much. You got to watch it with that snow. Don't suddenly go out and start shoveling. But you know what happens when you sleep more? The brain vacuum cleaners out debris. You literally reset. You reset your emotions. Your immune system improves. Your behavior gets better. And maybe you learn a method of behaving that you can take into the new year where you're not as irritable. Again, not Lawrence Jones. Maybe me. Maybe I need to be a little less irritable. Couple of days of rest here.
I tell you, Doc, I can get irritated, especially since I'm only sleeping 4.5 hours a day. But I'm going to work on that in the new year. I promise that to the...
Oh yeah, you gotta get that rest. Good rest. Good for you. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to find the story, but there was an actual story. I don't even know if I should watch it on here. There is a 19-year-old female. It's very sad. I don't even want to mention it, to be honest with you. But they found her body, and it's not good. Everybody needs to be mindful about mental health, and not the only thing about that also is around the holidays, it's very tough for a lot of people. So I think everybody needs to learn to be sympathetic. And be good to each other. It's very important. You never know. Let's see if we can find more news. Like, I put up news in the search window, and this is almost all I'm getting back. Has to do with Venezuela.
The defendant here is an 18-year-old named Christian Sturtevant. He has been planning this attack for about a year, but he's been planning an attack for far longer than that.
What we found was a manifesto, which the federal complaint alleges contained detailed plans to execute a massacre on New Year's Eve. He was looking for a high-profile place. There's a couple grocery stores in Mint Hill. He wasn't set on just one. He was looking at multiple, whichever one had the most people in it.
Chilling details of an alleged terror plot in North Carolina stopped before it could even happen. The U.S. attorney there calling it an ISIS-inspired attack.
Awesome, we foiled
New
it.
Year's Eve. Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm Sandra Smith. It is great to kick off the new year with you, Greg.
I am Griff Jenkins. Sandra, it's awesome to be here for John Roberts, who's off today. This is America Reports. Now, the suspect, an 18-year-old from a town just outside Charlotte, is...
What? This guy looks like he's 40.
Now in custody and facing multiple charges. Investigators revealing some of the evidence, including a document titled New Year Attack 2026.
Reaction to this breaking news from DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. She'll be joining us live in moments.
But first, Justice Correspondent David Spunt has the latest details from...
Oh, she's pretty. She's got one of those resting bitch faces.
Washington. Hey, David.
Hey, Griff, of course.
Let's go back and look at it.
King news from DHS Assistant Secretary.
Resting bitch face. Look at her. She looks like she wants to punch you.
Secretary Tricia McLaughlin, she'll be joining us live in moments.
But first, Justice Correspondent David Smunt has the latest details from Washington. Hey, David.
Hey, Griff, according to investigators, this plan was in the works for about a year, and it involved attacking innocent people inside a grocery store on New Year's Eve with hammers and knives.
What the fuck? That's an... What the hell? That's why people carry whenever they go places. Could you imagine going to get groceries and you head over to the meat counter to get some ground beef and you see some guy walking around with hammers and shit, hitting people with them? Crazy.
Now, we have some of those photos from the complaint, as we mentioned.
What the fuck? Those are just like roofing hammers. And looks like kitchen knives.
Christian Sturtevant, 18 years old, from Mint Hill, North Carolina. That's a suburb of Charlotte. Police said he planned to use these hammers. Authorities also seized 2 butcher knives from under his bed.
He's a U.S. citizen. He turned 18 in December of 2025. The JTTF collected evidence showing he turned his back on his country and his fellow citizens by pledging allegiance to ISIS with the intent of becoming a martyr.
Gloves and tactical vests were also taken as evidence by authorities.
What a dumbass.
According to investigators, Sturtevant pledged his support to ISIS online with someone who he thought was
I hope he goes to jail and gets diddied.
an ISIS member, but it turned out to be an undercover
We should make that a saying now. Get diddied, bitch.
officer working with the New York City Police Department, NYPD. He then talked with another person he thought was a member of ISIS. That turned out to be an undercover FBI agent. Authorities had him, meaning the FBI had him on the radar since January of 2022 when he was in his early teens. He was on social media speaking with an unidentified ISIS member overseas, but he was under 18 at the time and no charges were filed. He did receive psychological care ordered by a state judge. This is according to the press conference today. 3 years later, though, he's now charged with attempting to provide materials to a foreign terrorist organization. If convicted, he faces a maximum of 20 years in prison.
Yeah, he's probably gonna be staying a very long time. That's just crazy. Planning on going to grocery stores and hitting people with hammers. That's gotta be one of the dumbest things I ever heard of. But people do weird shit like that, so it doesn't surprise me. Maduro effed around and find out. He fucked around and found out. Baffo. I wonder what happened to all the stories about the missing people and stuff. Like, YouTube just threw up everything about Maduro and stuff. Innocent child keeps gone. You know, it'd make it a lot more simple if I made a playlist before I streamed. But, you know, that would make it more effort.
I think he's more comfortable here.
Ken Johnson is
And don't mess with this anchor.
I saw this the other day. This is about a news anchor who reads mean comments because people have been leaving comments, negative comments, about her and her weight. But I think she looks fucking good. She's thick.
Viewers trolled her about her weight. She hit back by reading the meanest comments on social media. She spoke with our Ann Mercado.
More cushion for the pushing.
I'm Carissa Codell. This news anchor is fighting back against trolls and their insults about her weight. In her best news anchor voice, Carissa Codell is reading the meanest comments.
As you guys can see from this graphic here, pig emoji. Bill.
Oh, pig emoji. That's all they said. I don't know if this one right here is an insult though. Built for breeding. I think that means that they think she's fine.
For breeding tonight at 5.
And she's doing it with a sense
At least she's laughing about it.
of humor.
I ain't never worked.
I ain't never worked as hard as ankles. That's fucked up.
As hard as them ankles.
She just can't stop laughing
Grab those ankles.
over this
She's like the only fat line I've ever seen.
rude comment.
She's like the only fat 9 I've ever seen. What happened?
You know what she kind of reminds me of? It's like a thick version of Veronica Corningstone from Anchorman.
You look nice.
I spoke to the anchor with KOLR TV in Missouri, which calls itself Ozarks First. You're laughing about them now, right? Did it hurt at first?
Honestly, no.
Damn, she's pretty though. Look at that. You can't say she's not pretty.
Never really got to me. I never lost any sleep over it.
Are you shocked by the insults? Does it surprise you?
Some of them do, yes. I get shocked by the people that seem genuinely angry, that continue to comment things about my weight. Why have fake news when you can have cake news? I bet
What the fuck are these people talking about? I bet she's thick and tired of reading these comments.
she's thick and tired of reading these comments.
And here's a news flash.
I do own a mirror, despite what these people might think. I actually have lost 55 pounds in the last 3 years.
Wow.
And yeah, so I kind of think, man, if you don't like me now, you would have hated me back then.
What's your message? Why are you
Back then, didn't want me now. I'm hot. Hold on.
doing this?
I'm doing it mainly just to show that you can be happy with yourself and be confident. And as long as you know who you are, nothing can hurt you. Okay.
Oh yeah, she's funny. I would love to drink with her.
That's a great message and a great way to deal with those internet trolls.
She's definitely cool people. I did enjoy that story though. That would be so awesome if like she was local and my local news lady. I would totally watch her. Tune in just for her. Let's see if we can find another story. Something probably not too heavy to do with war and stuff. I'm really liking these stories of lighthearted ones. Retired U.S. Army Colonel reveals Putin's strategy. It's kind of heavy. Looks like we covered most of the important news things today. Golf course brawl involving former NHL. Oh, I saw some stuff about this. Let me look up that story. I want to see a story about this now. If I can get a real news source. This might be good enough.
Nicki Minaj in this whole Turning Point USA situation, many people are just in their feelings, and many folks are unhappy.
Deportation of Nicki Minaj has now gained over 50,000 signatures.
Damn! They gained 50,000 signatures to deport Nicki Minaj because she's from Trinidad, I believe.
Comes as a Change.org petition calling for Nicki Minaj to be deported to her birthplace, Trinidad and Tobago, driven by online outrage over her MAGA comments, which a lot of people are very shocked and surprised with. This has gained over tens of thousands of signatures.
And so now you had people coming after her with a moral compass.
This lady went from tap dancing for Donald Trump's America to having 30,000 people sign a petition to have him deport her back to Trinidad.
Damn. You know what? I'm on the fence about this. I know she's rich and she has all this money and everything, so it probably doesn't matter. She'll just come back in one way or another. But it would be something definitely to laugh at if she did get deported. You already know everybody's gonna be going over there with cameras and looking at her. So people are gonna be pointing and laughing.
But how? How do you go from this to this in a matter of days? How do you go from this to this in a matter of weeks? One of my favorite
They want her gone.
quotes is that you should stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
And so, as you know, Nicki Minaj is not legally a citizen of the United States. She came undocumented, but I believe now she is, if I'm not mistaken, Nicki Minaj is a green card holder.
But Nicki Minaj is here illegally. She is an undocumented migrant. She
was? She's been here this whole time in her whole career. Everybody knew about her and they just left her alone?
She is not a U.S. citizen, so should you deport her? Or are you going to say because she joined Erica Kirk at her T-Pussa event and now is full MAGA that she's cool? She's a good one. She's one of the okay ones with me. Yeah, it's the double standard. You go after anybody and everybody regardless of their status. It's just if they look brown, you want to round them up. And Nicki Minaj has actively had a platform and stated she's here illegally, and you'll probably just look the other way and it doesn't matter. As long as
Yeah, that's true. This guy speaks the truth. If you're gonna be trying to get everybody and kick them out, you need to get everybody and kick them out. Don't just leave people like Nicki Minaj because she's rich and everything.
she toes the company line.
So this is important. She's a green card holder, And so she has legal status in the United States. This person obviously is presenting her to not have that status is not true. So now what you're seeing is this petition from Nicki Minaj. It's not just 50.
Oh no. They don't even use the good pictures of her. They got like this busted ass picture of her looking like she just got through going to go get some groceries or something from the corner store after she woke up.
50,000. As you can see here on the screen, as of right now in which I'm recording this.
Damn, her nose looks way bigger right here. I think the makeup that they use, it kind of put lines right here. Makes them look smaller.
This is over 67,000 copies, okay? And I can understand that Nicki Minaj is, let's say, doing some things in which you don't like, and access 68,000 signatures. Y'all want her to be deported back. But I want you to listen to one thing.
Bro, I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I knew about the Somali 20 years ago. I had my son 20 years ago. I went to go get Section 8. Drove down to the Section 8 office in Columbus, Ohio, and guess who the I seen? All Somalis in the parking lot. They was there for 8 hours already. Had tents, vans parked. They had tents. They had their vans parked in the parking lot and made tents. It's first come, first serve when you go to get help from the government, when you need aid, when you need financial aid. First come, first serve. You gotta wait behind a fuck Somalians. I'm American. I gotta wait behind 100 Somalians to even get help. Then when you wait after all these, oh yeah, we don't got no more room left. We only had 80 spots. Yeah, 100 Somalians got all the Section 8. I knew about this 20 years ago. I never did get the Section 8, and the government don't give a federal government don't care. They complicit. They corrupt.
So the reason why
Damn, he's pissed.
I wanted to talk about this, guys, because he is a brother living in Columbus, Ohio area. The man says something I thought was very powerful. He said he had been trying to get help, was unable to get the help. And one of the reasons why he said he could not get the help is largely because of Somalians using
Damn, these Somalians are bad people, apparently.
the Section 8 system. Now, Somalians in Columbus, Ohio have undergone a real big issue.
Okay. This has turned into a Somalian hate off. Let's fast forward.
The ones that have caused the issues back to Somalia. And so here I'm thinking, for a lady who injects billions of dollars into the American economy, you want to deport her for having an opinion, while the people who do the real cause and harm to the country, you don't want to deport them, because the trope that you will use at that point is racism, white supremacy. Now, I don't agree with everything that Nicki Minaj did at Turning Point USA, but let's just be clear. Nicki Minaj is financially and more economically important than most people. Why should she leave America? If she is operating with a green card, if she is taking care of her bills, if she is doing the right things, why should she have to leave? She's just giving an opinion.
I'm starting to think people are just trolling her by getting those signatures to get her kicked out of America. I wouldn't put it past the trolls. I've seen trolls do a lot of things. I've seen trolls go onto the news platforms and like New York newspapers and tell people that so-and-so is dead and give them a picture of them and they're still alive. I think that happened with that one guy, Wings of Redemption. I think the New York newspaper put out something about him being dead, and his name was Bernie Gorse. His name was Bernie, and he was dead. It is so funny. He got pissed.
An opinion that you were largely okay with last year or 2 years ago. She changed her mind. Whether she changed her mind for whatever the right reason was, it doesn't matter. She changed her mind. And now y'all want her out. And let me just say this. This is one of the reasons why we have a problem with some of these cities. In particular, the cities on the left. Chicago, New York City, Los Angeles. Cities that have no tactical framework or tactical representation mentally and for.
She's definitely pretty. Let's look for one more good news story. But I happened to see that today, I think. Something about Nicki Minaj, and I was laughing my ass off. It's gotta be trolls. It's gotta be trolls. At least one of them. That's the ultimate kick in the pants right there. Let's sit through this one more time and find a good story. Well, that's sad right there. One of the influencer's child died. I also saw that something about Will Smith being sued again by a violinist that he fired. Let's look up some Diddy news. I haven't looked up anything about Diddy in a while. Diddy news. Ooh, we're going down, baby. I did hear something about him drinking alcohol or something. Diddy's drinking that wine.
Recounting his prison stint alongside Sean Diddy Combs, Telfair was just released after serving time for a probation violation related to a healthcare fraud conviction.
He's probably got stories about Diddy.
Told TMZ, quote, "I couldn't imagine how Diddy felt, but Diddy's holding it down. He's doing what he's got to do. Diddy was living a rock star life, so I'm glad he's going to get the time to just relax. Diddy's in good spirits. He's still Diddy."
Can't stop. Won't stop.
Combs is serving out a sentence of a little more than 4 years on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, but his defense team is now working to get him released. So let's bring in Mercedes Colwin, criminal defense attorney. Mercedes, really good to see you. It's been a while. As part of the argument that Diddy's attorneys are making, they are saying, quote, and we'll put this up, defendants typically get sentenced to less than 15 months for these offenses. Even when coercion, which the jury didn't find here is involved, he sits in prison today serving a 50-month sentence because the district judge acted as a 13th juror. Where do you think this goes?
You know where this goes. Diddy's got that cash. He's gonna get out.
Alicia, always great to be on with you. Let's be very frank about this case. You can't unsee what you saw, you can't unhear what you heard, and you can't unremember what you read. And it's clear that that judge took certain things in consideration that were part of the evidence, and it is permitted under the Mann Act. That is the psychological harm that took place on these victims. We're talking about Cassie Ventura and the other victim who...
Oh, he looks like a perv in that picture. He looks perverted as fuck.
Testified as Jane.
He looks like he's doing some type of function or something, but he just can't wait to get into back to a dark corner or a room in the back in the VIP so he can start gooning right away.
And those two recounted the horrors of what they went through under this type of influence, this type of sexual exploitation. So it's going to be a real stretch. And do I applaud the defense's attorney? But by the way, these are great defense.
He looks kind of pretty right there too.
Attorneys, they're
like catch you in a dark alley kind of guy.
Gifted. It's clear that they've got
backdoor Diddy.
Got a great bench, and they're trying all they can to try to overturn those 50 months. But it's going to be a very hard process for them to get to that, because under the Mann Act, the judge can take into consideration the harm that was inflicted upon those victims. And so therefore, they might be arguing, and not only are they arguing that there was this departure from what should have been imposed on Sean Combs, they're also arguing, which is a real stretch, that these freak-offs and these hotel sexual encounters were really amateur pornography that were done, and this was during the consenting adults. It was consensual. So they're not only making this argument that there was this departure by the judge and should have been into consideration.
Yeah, a lot of these people, they do that shit. They have, like, contracts signed up, and they have it on video, too, where they're all, like, recording the girls or whatever. And they say, like, hey, we're gonna make a movie. We're gonna make a freak-off, okay? And tell me on camera that you agree, and sign this paperwork, and agree to this and that, and we'll go do a freak-off. You can't sue us. That's probably what they did.
The second part is the fact that there's also a First Amendment violation, because really this is really a freedom of expression. These individuals were consenting. But at the core issue is whether these women actually consented to that. And the prosecution that will be arguing against this appeal, they'll say Sean Combs used his fame, his fortune, and his wealth to sexually exploit these women and transfer them from state to state. That's the...
Hey, if they're doing it legally, they gotta get those contracts signed up. And you gotta have, like, a porn company or something. And actually have to have it manufactured or something. I don't know how they do it. I know that it's something that they could do. I guess P. Diddy should have went in porn. He's in the wrong business. He should have went into the porn industry. And he would have been able to have all the freak-offs he wants, and he could have done it legally and properly. Don't be doing it all negatively, Diddy. Don't be doing all of these people dirty. Damn monster.
The evidence that came in, that's the evidence that compelled that jury to convict Sean Combs. It's going to be a real stretch to get to overturn that sentencing, especially when you look at the guidelines on itself under the Mann Act. It's between 70 and 80 months. The judge gave 50 months here. So this type of these arguments, frankly, if I looked at my crystal ball, it's going to fail.
Call him Dirty Diddy. Like, really, seriously, if you wanted to go have a bunch of freak-offs, go join porn. They have companies already. Just sign up. You'll be a new porn star.
You know, Mercedes,
But no, he wants to be all shady. Do all this weird shit.
As I was reading this, first of all, let's start with the First Amendment argument here, because to me, just as a layperson, sounded like some stretch. Because we recorded it and it became entertainment, that is now a First...
Look at that picture. Why does his face look like that?
Amendment situation that they're dealing with. I mean, from a legal standpoint.
It looks like he's trying to get a freak-off going right there in court.
What do you think?
That's such a great question, Elisa, because that's really at the core of it. That would mean that anybody taking their phones, if they're literally capturing a crime taking place between a victim and an abuser, you're saying that that's somehow amateur photography and that should be permitted under the First Amendment? No, I mean, the arguments are at stretch. I applaud them for trying to do so. It's obvious that they're trying to get this at all odds to try to get this overturned. But at the end of the day, you have a jury that said that what took place between Cassie Ventura, Jane, and Sean Combs and all of the other enablers, the participants in these freak-offs, these hotel stays, this sexual exploitation, was sexual...
Yeah, I haven't looked a lot into what Diddy's done. I heard a couple things about him and, like, Justin Bieber and a whole bunch of other celebrities. I heard that he was recording celebrities banging or something. So, it's a lot of weird shit. He's a weird piece of crap.
exploitation, and it was non-consensual. So the fact that you have non-consensual acts that are being memorialized doesn't make it suddenly be First Amendment and therefore should be protected activity. It's a stretch, and frankly, it will, and in my humble opinion, will likely fail.
Okay, and I also thought it was interesting that his attorneys are also going after the Mann Act itself, an attempt to kind of to weaken this law.
What the fuck? He's trying to get out immediately? You do all of this weird shit with them boys, and you're recording celebrities and doing all of this shit, and you expect to get out?
What should we be considering when we look at that?
Look at him, trying to look like a rock star, like he can do anything he wants.
Well, it's interesting because the Mann Act is you rarely hear about it.
Look at him. He needs to be deported.
Read about it. Rarely those are the charges.
Let's look at the verdict. I didn't even look this up yet. It's the first time I've seen this. Verdict against Diddy. Count 1, racketeering conspiracy, not guilty. Bullshit. Count 2, sex trafficking of Cassandra Ventura. I don't know about that one. Or anything about her. But apparently, not guilty. Count 3. Mann Act transportation. Guilty. Sex trafficking of Jane, not guilty. Act transportation, guilty. They gotta have a lot more on this guy than they're letting on. Cause all the stories floating around, you know, and if he did do Justin Bieber dirty behind closed doors, I mean, is he just letting them get away with it? What's going on?
But the prosecution, the prosecutors really took into consideration all of the acts that could fall into lesser included crimes. They were obviously looking for the really big crimes, sex trafficking being one of the highest crimes that they were trying to seek a conviction on. That failed. So these lesser included crimes are ones that had to be considered. Those are the ones that the jury obviously felt was enough evidence to convict Sean Combs on. And yes, they're trying to attack but it's on the books. This law is still good law. It has not been overturned. It is not deemed unconstitutional. Those laws are permitted to be used and charged against individuals who the prosecutors in their discretion really do feel that a crime has taken place. So it's on the books. Can't say it's unconstitutional. The argument, if his defense team really feels that there is a problem with the Mann Act, you can certainly lobby against that act and have it rendered unconstitutional. But
let's see if there's any more news about Dirty Diddy. You know what? There was something about Diddy and Cuba Gooding Jr. Grooming him or something? I saw some weird stories. As much as it sucks, because I think Cuba Gooding Jr. is a good actor and I like him a lot. Circle of Sex? Diddy's son caught on tape sexually assaulting yacht stewardess. Oh, I'm sorry, steward. Does that mean a dude? They're doing all kinds of weird shit. This is one. This guy. No, Cuba Gooding Jr. was the one putting his arm around him. That's the picture that I saw.
And this time, Jones provided this photo of Cuba sitting next to him with his arm around his shoulder. Now,
From what I heard, Cuba was trying to get this guy right here. I guess this is Rodney Jones Jr. He's basically grooming his ass.
according to people who were there, we've also heard Gene Deal say this, Cuba Gooding Jr. was making a move. Cuba Gooding Jr. was trying to impose some sort of power or dominance over him. This is not...
See, look at that shit. There's something very odd about that. He might have, of course, then again, it could have been just one of those pictures that you take and it looks weird no matter what. Maybe Cuba was drunk. Maybe they were both drunk. Maybe they were both drunk and high. And they were talking about old memories. I don't know. You can always say it looks bad, and it does, but it might not. I don't know. Who knows?
Celebrity gossip. That's not why I'm mentioning this. I'm mentioning this because Cuba Gooding Jr. In November, and again with Lil Rod, and multiple times has been accused of sexual misconduct, of sexual assault, of sexual violence. And this time, the fact that it's a man may complicate that. It may be a non-issue to people, but either way, we gotta recognize that the Diddy fallout is continuing, because this is not just him breaking the silence. This is him breaking the silence about Diddy and about the...
Yeah, and there's a bunch of other stories about, like, Will Smith, too. Will Smith was getting... I don't remember if he was the one that was being the top or the bottom, but he was banging some dude. And one of his guards, or somebody's guard, walked in on him. It's pretty fucked up. There's so many layers and so much stuff going on with these celebrities. It's easy not to get caught up in it because a lot of the time you don't hear about it. But this stuff does go on behind closed doors, and it's weird. There's also a bunch of weird stuff with P. Diddy and Justin Bieber.
We doing, we can't really disclose.
They can't really disclose. Boom! Look, zoom in on Justin Bieber's face.
Sean, Diddy Combs enters his 5th day in federal court, hearing testimony from his ex, Cass, on the ordeal after months. Justin Bieber breaking his silence on the ordeal after months of speculation.
Yeah, Diddy is a damn monster.
Over their one-time relationship. His rep telling ET, although Justin is not among Sean Combs' victims, there are individuals who were genuinely harmed by him.
I don't know. He looks like he might have been a victim to some extent. Look at that look in his eyes. He's like dead inside. Diddy got him.
Shifting focus away from this reality detracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve. Bieber's questionable connection to Diddy piquing interest online as the...
He was like, there's gotta be something going on. Because I do remember Diddy was giving him a car. I think this is the scene right here. I think he was only 16 or 17 at the time. He was young, and Diddy was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give you this really expensive car.
The rap moguls
And you don't even have to give me those cheeks.
Indictment for
Bullshit.
sex trafficking and racketeering charges, which
Nasty
his
ass.
old Jimmy Kimmel Live segment, adding to fan fears about what might have gone down with Diddy.
Got me a Lamborghini. It's
Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
When is that coming, that Lamborghini?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the Lamborghini.
We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Oh, you hear that? He knows better than to talk about stuff that he does with me on TV. Look at that. He looks mad. He looks mad right here. And he looks like, oh shit. Look at him. This is stuff you look back on and you think, oh damn, that shit's sus. And now that you know what you know, it's really sus.
Everything ain't for everybody.
This all comes as Bieber's followers are worried for him. The singer's erratic social media posts causing concern week
The fuck is he doing? Oh, we got a news update.
Nicolas Maduro has landed in New York and is en route to New York City to face criminal charges. This after the U.S. successfully carried out a large-scale military operation in Venezuela, striking multiple targets and capturing Maduro along.
Told ya. I told ya I heard they were taking his ass to New York.
Along with his wife, Celia Flores.
At my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. The men and women of our military, working with U.S. law enforcement, successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night.
And President Trump posted this photo of Maduro aboard the USS Iwo Jima.
Well, that picture's kind of weird. You know what he looks like in that picture? Kind of like a way older version of that gamer that streams, the real popular one, Dr. Disrespect. That looks like him. That looks like a Dr. Disrespect whenever he's like 80.
Jima on his way to New York, where he is facing 4 criminal charges for his alleged involvement in narco-terrorism. Madeline Rivera is live at the White House with the latest. Hi, Maddie.
Hi, Tommy. Some stunning images coming out of New York right now where Maduro and his wife have landed in New York after being transported on the USS Iwo Jima. The president conveying today as being a last-ditch operation to get Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro out of power after several attempts have failed. A superseding indictment from the southern...
That's what happened, man. Fuck around and find out.
District of New York alleges Maduro sits atop a corrupt, illegitimate government that for decades has leveraged government power to protect and promote illegal activity, including drug trafficking. But the President Trump, indicates there's an interest in the country's oil too, forecasting a future in which he sees oil companies rebuilding the country's oil infrastructure. Today, there are growing questions about what comes next. The president says they'll be working to designate people to run the country in the coming days, a team that could include Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. The president appearing to rule out the possibility of opposition leader and Nobel Peace Prize winner.
Okay, let's bring in Victoria Coates, former Deputy National Security Advisor and Heritage Foundation VP of National Security. Great to see you this morning, Victoria. Thank you for joining us. So what do you make of what you're seeing this morning?
Now, this is really a new day for the Western Hemisphere, and this is so much bigger than Venezuela. You know, what the purpose of this mission was to take out Nicolas Maduro, who, as Wes was just pointing out, is an indicted criminal. He's not just the head of state of Venezuela. He's an indicted criminal under U.S. law. So this was entirely authorized by the president under Article 2. And it's very typical of President Trump that he does a surgical strike to take out a high-value target like the Iranian nuclear program, like Qasem Soleimani in January of 2020.
Damn, they're making it rain on him right there.
Get him out of the country, and he's going to try him under U.S. law. But as I said, this is broader than Venezuela.
If I was part of the army down there in Venezuela and I saw that going on, I would straight up run away. I would leave. I would not drive into that trying to save the president. I'd be like, well, it's done for.
We've been talking about Cuba all morning. Cuba may now collapse. That's 90 miles off of the shores of Florida. That is a direct threat to the United States. We could get rid of that hostile communist regime at long last, 60 short years later. So I think this is a huge day for the United States. It is just a new dawn for the Western Hemisphere.
What would be the impetus for Cuba to collapse in the wake of this?
Well, it would be economic because since the fall of the Soviet Union, which was Cuba's old patron,
Crazy.
Venezuela has been supplying Cuba with cheap oil. And the island has been so hideously mismanaged economically that is their lifeline at this point. So if that is cut off by the new interim government, which I hope is...
Look at that shit. He's got the peace sign thrown up. Both of them do. Okay. Well, I think we went over a bulk of the news that's important for today. I'm not sure if I'm going to make this a regular occurrence doing news. I just kind of wanted to look some stuff up, you know, see what's going on. And, yeah. We covered most of it. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, but that's enough for me today as far as news goes. And, yeah. I think I might do a gaming stream here in a little bit. So, this is, hold on. Okay, this is a part of stream where I thank everybody for coming. I appreciate anybody who may have came in, whatnot. Took a little gander at what I'm doing. And thanks, Bud, for coming in. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.